In reading the article, I noticed something that would kind of, as to use your terminology, parachuted out of my mind. And that was the word bear, to bear.
Uh-huh.
My
So
first association with it is kind of just grin and bear it. So my question is like, what does it mean to bear it in a yogic sense?
what a great question. Excellent, fantastic question. So useful not only for you, but everybody. So, uh, okay. Let's go through a few of the words. Sahanam, bearing, enduring. But quite right, Ambi, the way that we approach that in modern life or ordinary life is like grin and bear it, or like, oh, I gotta, and that's one of the reasons why they call tapa is heat. They call it austerity. There is a bit of like, it is a bit of, there can be a little difficulty in the process. And then when I say a little bit, I mean generally to become a doctor, for example, you have to study, and you can't go out to the party every night, and you can't do a lot else in those original years where you're training. You have to put the focus on that so that you can make the change so you can become the doctor. Then afterwards you can go to the lawn parties or whatever, right? So but it doesn't have to be agony. The enduring in yoga doesn't have to be agony. What it really means is you see the pairs of opposites. Sometimes it's so painful or it's so uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden you're like, when you have yogic knowledge of this is one of the pairs of opposites, it's not like you snap your fingers and la di da, but let's say you've got both sides and you're like, I see you pairs of opposites, and you remain humble through that. And the enduring is that humility, that steadiness. You see, let go, you see, let go, and let it be. It's not that you're like, but of course we all know, we've all been there and we will be there again, and we will work with it, that there are times when one side of it feels uncomfortable. Let's say I want to go to the party. Let's say it's let's say I've got a hot crush on somebody and somebody's at that party and I'm like, I want to go see so and I have to do a chemistry exam. So now what do I do as the yogini in training, let's say? Well, I have to use wisdom, I have to use buddhi, and I don't have to writhe in agony. I can either find a way to go later, or I can learn to let it go. So implicit in tapas, which is the pratipadika form, which then becomes tapa, in woven into it is vairagya, is letting go, is non-attachment. There has to be some of that, because there's no way that you can go deeper into it. Also, I gave some examples in the post where it's like, if you well, that may be a question of someone else, but I'll just hint at it a little bit. And that is, some things you like in a subject, you're really good at, right? Let's say somebody's good at vocab, but they find verbs difficult. So verbs, you have to bear on the difficult area. And the part that's easy, okay, but you have to think about another way. Like another way to think about bearing, which is a great question, is I've been talking a lot in Sanskrit class about memorizing. And I can't tell you how many people have tried to make a case with me for why they can't memorize. It's kind of become comical. They'll take me aside, listen, Guru Ma, I'm getting older, or I'm this, or then they're younger, or they have everybody's got a little thing about it. But then when you talk to them, they can remember their husband's medication, their kids' lunch, people remember things because they make a connection to it, because there's a value on it, because they connect with it. I'm not judging it. I'm saying that, of course, you can remember things if you put effort into it. So the real place to put the attention, and here's where the sahanam would be, is I find a resistance to this. How can I actually transform that resistance? And you don't have to be like, and make a party out of it, but how can I transform it where, what if I flip it and I actually can? What would that look like? How I could get curious. How am I able to, what do I remember in my life? And so in a way, it doesn't have to be always painful, but there are definitely, I will not say there are times when, it does feel painful. If you're engaging asana and you are folding forward and you feel, uncomfortable in your hips, but you want to kind of build strength or you want to build elongation, it's going to have a difficulty initially. So there's generally, that's kind of woven into it. You have to endure that. But from a yogic viewpoint, I would say you get curious where like, instead of what we do where we judge or we push away, I would just, what I've learned to do over the years is if I notice there's some kind of glitch, of course, initially you want to go this way, but I would turn towards it and just be like, oh, there's something in it for me. And let me soften, because that will start the process nicely. That doesn't mean it's easy peasy, but let me just soften and see what's there. Let me see what I'm resisting. Let me see. And then as I soften, as I see, as I gain clarity, then I can move towards it. So does that help?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Thank you.
Great question, Ami. I love your parlor. So cute.